Hi, my name is Autif Kamal. This is episode 40 of Be Logical. This one is about Egypt's president, Mohamed Morsi, being overthrown. So he's no longer the president. So there were a lot of sources saying that there were about 14 million protesters in Egypt, which would make it the largest political protest so far. And the protest was against Mohamed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood. And I just want to give you a heads up that most of the information that I present to you I'll be getting from Hamza Hendawi, Sarah El-Deeb, and Maggie Michael. Okay, now first, what is the Muslim Brotherhood? The Muslim Brotherhood was founded by Hassan al-Banna, and basically his beliefs were that governance should be in accord to Islamic principles, and that's what the Muslim Brotherhood aimed to do, and they probably did do on many occasions. I can't tell you specifically which principles, because I don't know. Now, in 2011, there were protests in Egypt. They weren't the first protests, probably. There were many before that. But in 2011, this is a list of the reasons why they had a protest then, which was for police brutality, state of emergency law, electoral fraud, political censorship, widespread corruption, high unemployment, food price inflation, low minimum wages, and protests in neighboring Middle Eastern countries. So, to summarize, they were protesting because of the economy and because of corruption. That would be the short story. The poverty rate in Egypt as of 2011 was 25.2%, so 1 out of 4 people would be in poverty. So that would definitely anger some people and give them a reason to protest. In terms of corruption and police brutality, that can be read about in France 24. That's an online news agency. The name of the article is Egypt Slides into Chaos as Protesters Defy Curfew. And in terms of the poverty rate as of 2011, I got that from the World Bank. The name of the article is Egypt. Here's another example of what definitely invigorates and further infuriates already present protests. In 2011, there was a 50-year-old laborer who was beaten by 8 police officers. Now, the laborer is 50 years old, probably can't do much. Not so much that 8 police officers are gang up on him. Because you don't need that many to restrain someone. So 8 of them beat him to death, and then 60 people died after that. And on top of that, Morsi does not acknowledge that police brutality was a problem, so in essence, he was condoning it. That's a definite way to further piss off the protesters and maybe even get more to join them. So I'm getting that specific instance of the 50-year-old laborer being beaten from Patrick Kinsley, who writes for The Guardian. The name of the article is Egypt Tensions Rise as Footage Emerges of Police Beating Protester. Now, on July 1st of 2013, the Egyptian military gave Mohamed Morsi a 48-hour ultimatum, which is basically to satisfy their demands or give up his power. Morsi denied that ultimatum, and basically you can't really accomplish much in 2 days. So for Morsi's purpose, that was more of just like a warning to leave before they make him lose his power. Okay, I'm getting this information regarding the 48-hour ultimatum from Hamza Hendawi, Sarah El-Deeb, and Maggie Michael, who write for the Associated Press. The name of the article is Egypt's Military Issues 48-Hour Ultimatum. Now on July 3rd, so the 2 days later, the cabinet tweets that they do not stand by Morsi, in terms of his speech regarding how he would his intention would be to fight against the protesters. Also, 5 of his cabinet members left. The police also stopped working with Morsi because they were sick of getting in the middle of the fights between him and the protesters. Eventually, Morsi and most of the Muslim Brotherhood was held captive in house arrest in the Republican Guard Club, and basically they don't want them to leave. And of course, yeah, that's why they're in house arrest. But the reason why I think they're in house arrest is because they don't want to give them a chance to recover their power. So that's why they're isolating them in that house arrest. That's my guess anyway. Also, the Egyptian military executed a plan to suspend the constitution. They wouldn't do that if they thought that the constitution they already had was perfect. So I think that means that they plan on changing some aspects of the constitution. Now I'm getting this information on the house arrest from, and I think also the suspension of the Constitution, from David D. Kirkpatrick and Ben Hubbard, who write for the New York Times. The name of the article is "Morsi Defies Egypt Army's Ultimatum to Bend to Protest." Also on July 3rd, Egypt's Chief Justice of the Supreme Constitutional Court, Adli Mansour, was selected or assigned to be president, the interim president, so he'll be the temporary president until they elect somebody else. I'm getting this information from Richard Engel, Charlene Gubash, and Aaron McClam, who are journalists for NBC News. They wrote the article "Morsi Ousted Under House Arrest as Crowd Celebrates in Cairo." I think Adli Mansour said some things that would definitely get him on the right side, the correct side of the protesters. First, he says, "The most glorious thing about June 30th is that it brought together everyone without discrimination or division. I offer my greetings to the revolutionary people of Egypt." So, right there, he's explicitly welcoming their action. So I think that definitely gets him on a good side. And he also says that the revolution must continue so that we stop producing tyrants. So there he's being more explicit, calling Mohamed Morsi a tyrant. So that, I think that also helps to get him on the good side of the protesters. I'm getting these quotes from Hamza Hendawi, who writes for the Associated Press. The name of the article is "Egypt Chief Justice Sworn In as Interim President." Now, there were several judges that have challenged, several judges in the Constitutional Court that have challenged Morsi's policies in the past. I'm not sure if they've challenged all of them or only some of them. But basically what I'm wondering is whether Egypt's people will be permanently satisfied with Adli Mansour for as long as he's interim president, or whether they will be annoyed with anything for him. In any case, hopefully they're happy with how he works while he's president, or how he operates, and they will find a president that they're equally or more satisfied with. And that's it for this episode of Be Logical. Alright, thank you.